Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to another episode of Raising the Flag. Today, we are fortunate to have one of the fastest and top rising hurdler from Nigeria, in the person of Adaobi of the University of Central Florida. Adaobi, welcome to the Truncast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for making yourself available for this interview. So, to not waste much of your time, what an awesome season you've had this year. Going Sub-13 seconds for the first time, and even though it was win aided, but you backed it up with a win legal. Was another Sub-13 which was 1287. How would you rate your overall college season this year?
My collegiate season, it was a great season, honestly. I can't sit here and act like the losses are greater than the wins. I'm so grateful for how it went. And honestly, I learned so much in this one season. And so I'm just grateful, honestly.
That is awesome. What would you say? What are some of the factors that contributed to your success this year?
Um, Number one, God. My faith has helped me get through so much because there were a lot of ups and downs, but I'm so grateful I was able to overcome. And then another factor was my mindset. Um, Honestly, I was able to get through certain things that maybe a couple years ago would have been harder for me to overcome. My coach, she really noticed certain things that I really needed to work on in my, especially with my form. So, she was a big factor. And then also just support that I've received. Yeah.
That is awesome. So technically, what would you say are some of the technical aspects of your race that have improved, that have contributed to you going Sub-13 for the first time and becoming one of the fastest African this year and Nigerian this year?
Um, when it comes to technicality, there has been a lot of changes. Because when you see me, with a group of hurdlers, my form looks a little bit different because I didn't start out as a hurdler. I started out as a sprinter, and so when it comes to technicality, my feet tend to go first, but I've been learning more knee first and activate from the hips. And then also my speed between the hurdles. I've really been focusing on making sure that I'm being quick between the hurdles, and I've done better with that this year.
That is awesome. So aside that, what other factors like weight room, nutrition, what other factors would you say has contributed to your success this season?
Oh yeah, the weight room has also contributed. Um, my weights coach, she is very like our team weight coach, she's very adamant on making sure that we're strong, but also preventing injury. So um I naturally am someone who's very strong, just runs in my DNA, I guess. But
Mhm.
I don't need to be lifting as much as I'm capable of. Specifically because I run track, I'm not a bodybuilder. So
Yeah.
our weight coach knows that. And also my nutrition has improved significantly this year. I eat a lot of Nigerian food, but I usually eat like the healthier Nigerian foods and things like
Yeah.
that. But I like salads and I like vegetables, honestly.
That is awesome to and refreshing to hear. So, taking it from there, how did it all started for you? How did it all started for you? How did you get into track and field? What motivated you? Like what inspired you to get into track and field? How did it all started? Did it started from Nigeria or you were born here in the United States? Can you take us through that?
Okay, so I was born in Nigeria, but I came to the US when I was just about 2 years old. And so my father, he passed away when I was 1 year, when I was just about a year old, almost two. So my mother, thank you. But my mother, she had us three and then three stepsons, so six kids total. And so she had to take care of a lot and she was working a lot. And we really only had like one car in the house for a long time until my brothers ended up working. So when my older brothers moved out of the house, we really didn't have any way of doing extracurricular activities, things outside of school. So we were at home all the time. If it wasn't at home, if it was at church, the store, or at an African party or function. So we really were not able to. And I always wanted to run track. So um, I got the opportunity to run track when I got to high school. And so I started running when I was 15. And in the track world, that's kind of late, but
Hmm.
that's all I could do. And it's because they provided after school buses. So that's why, like, that would take us home from school when we
Yeah.
were done. So, um, I made varsity my freshman year. So that was a big deal for me and a big deal for my coach. And so he just kind of threw me into all the short sprints events.
Yeah.
And then outdoor season, he realized I was coordinated. So and I always watched the hurdlers. I just loved watching hurdlers. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I think I can do this. So
Hmm.
he put me into the hurdles, but so I made states my freshman year, that outdoor season in the
Yeah.
hurdles. And then the next season I won states. So I won states in my region a total of 5 times. So
Wow. Um,
so that was a big deal for me. And even though I had those accomplishments, I never had a hurdle coach. So my form
okay.
all throughout high school was terrible. So
Mm.
we always wanted a hurdle coach, but we just never got one. So
Yeah.
when I was being recruited to college, I was getting recruited for my hurdle skills, but I didn't really have hurdle skills. It was just
Mm.
whatever speed I had that was getting me through, essentially. But
Wow.
yeah.
That is very refreshing to hear, and it's not surprising. A lot of high school, it's they don't have that kind of budget to get specialists in all different events, but that must be very hard for someone who is upcoming and doesn't have an head coach and training by yourself. So when you first went on that, when you first went sub 13 seconds, your first meet sub 13 seconds, what was the reaction? What was the emotion when you crossed the finish line? You realized, oh, my first sub 13 second. How was the reaction and emotions?
I was like, about time. Like, finally. Because I feel like with the progression I was making from my sophomore year, I would have ran 12 seconds my junior year, but things didn't work out. And then last year I was running unattached during the outdoor season. So during the collegiate outdoor season. So those same privileges and things that you experience running with your team, you don't experience running unattached and, not traveling with your
Yeah.
team and doing things by yourself. So, you know, it felt like it was delayed, but at the same time, it wasn't denied. I'm really grateful. I was really grateful afterwards. It was just a barrier that needed to be crossed.
That's awesome. And you further went on to officially run a sub 13 seconds or 12:87. When you officially ran that time, what was the emotions and what was the reactions like? What was the feelings like?
I was more so happy that I had won the race, that I won Big 12, so I could have a title.
Yeah.
Um, but to see the time, I was like, oh, okay, like the time matches the joy of the win. So I was just really happy about that.
That is awesome. How does it feel to be part of this current crop of Nigerian athletes, especially the 100-meter hurdles? Nigeria is the current world record holder of the 100-meter women's 100-meter hurdle. How does it feel to be part of this crop of Nigeria hurdlers? Because currently you are number two in Nigeria right now behind Toby. How does it feel?
It feels great. I believe that Nigeria has a lot of potential in that area, and I'm just grateful to have, that that competition to look forward to. Someone like Toby, she's number one in the country. Like that's someone that I can look forward to racing against. Because I know she's gonna push me. And then
Mm.
my teammate Essay, she's number I believe 3 or 4. So I it's just nice to have these people around because you know that you're going to be pushed by them.
Yeah, that is very true because normally when you have a healthy competition, it brings the best out of you. Moving on from that, growing up, which athletes inspired you, or which athlete did you look up to when you were coming up, or when you first got into track and field?
Um, in the track and field sector, I would say Usain Bolt. I'm sure a lot of people have the same answer, but he was just I don't know. I just really enjoy watching competitive people and people seek to be the best. You can
Yeah,
never be mad at something like that. Um,
exactly.
and I wouldn't say he was ever like really maybe prideful, but he was always confident and bold about his, you know, want to win. And I would say outside of track, honestly, Cristiano Ronaldo,
Okay.
he was just always so inspiring to me growing up. And just the fact that he was so just competitive and
Mhm.
unapologetic about it and hardworking. That was really always inspiring to see.
That is awesome. So let's take it outside of track a little bit. Outside of track and field, I know being a student athlete is sometimes very hectic, busy. You have to be traveling every week and out, going to practice, going to class. How do you take your focus a little bit away from track and field out of the busy schedule? Like, what are some hobbies that keeps you a little bit to take your focus a little bit away from track and field?
Okay, I love to crochet. Um, I just love creative things. I love drawing. Like I drew this a couple of years, actually no, a few years ago. It's painted
Oh,
also. Like yes,
that's
I
awesome.
just hmm?
That is awesome.
Thank you. But yeah, I love art crochet. I love drawing. I love dancing, especially like African dance, Afro beats, and all that. Sometimes I'll play music in my room and just do choreography. I just love things where I can release my energy.
That is refreshing to hear. And you being Nigerian, next year is the African Championship, right? What are the plans for the rest of the summer this year? Are you preparing to go for Nigerian trials? Are you planning to also are you a world ranking? You're not too far away. So are you planning to compete to qualify for the world championship? What is the plan for the rest of the summer?
So for the rest of the summer, the original plan was to qualify for Worlds, but because I didn't have my first test by the deadline, the first WADA test,
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm ineligible to go this year. So that was a
Like
hard
for
pill.
what contributed to that? Was it something beyond your control or something uh that you was under your control?
So it was so it was both in my control but also out of my control. So multiple people were either not included in the testing pool or
Mm.
taken out. So I was originally in the testing pool, but I was taken out, and so many multiple people were taken out. So I was just like, okay, um I'm the type of person that kind of likes to let my performance speak for me. So
Mhm.
I was hoping, okay, if I run a close enough time or a good time, then they'll put me back in.
Yeah.
But they just didn't. And so and I wasn't the only one affected by this, but it was a hard pill to swallow, but we moved, you know, you can't dwell on things like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go to Nigerian trials to compete to better my ranking for next year. And I will also compete this weekend in Tennessee. And so I really the goal is really to be prepared and to do well this summer and to set myself up well for next summer.
That is awesome. That is awesome, and that is awesome to see your resilience and be able to endure this kind of difficult situation. Because being a former athlete, being in that situation is very very difficult and very very hard pill to swallow. So I can resonate with that. So in difficult situations like this, well, how do you handle difficult situations like this? What are some of the resources or what are some of the things that you do to handle difficult races? Because sometimes athletes will prepare, we go for track meets, you don't get the results you wanted, or sometimes you get a news you don't want to, you're not expecting. How do you navigate and handle this kind of situations?
Um, I'm gonna be so honest. I go to my Bible because what else can I do? Yeah, I can speak to my teammates about it. I can speak to my coaches about it, and it's good to let it out to people. But also, I seek guidance in God's word because ultimately that's what gives me peace. Because all of this can pass away. We came to this world with nothing. We're gonna leave with nothing. So ultimately, like no matter how bad certain things hurt,
Mhm.
everything is gonna be gone at some point. So yeah, so that's how I really overcome it. That nothing is worth dwelling on for too long.
Gosh, that's very refreshing to hear, and then your faith is very very inspiring. And when you're preparing for track meet, how do you prepare for track meet? What are some of the things that goes on in your preparation aside the actual practice and actual technicalities and stuff? What are some of the other things that goes on behind the scene when you are preparing for a meet?
Well, I would say, specifically on meet day, I listen to a lot of gospel music. I do my morning devotion, not just on meet day, but I try to do it at least most of the week. And
Mhm.
so, um, yes, and I I just try and fill myself up with good energy, you know, not too soft because you don't want to be too soft on meet day.
Yeah,
You have to be
right.
a little hard. So yeah, just positive energy, being pumped up and being ready to go, honestly.
That is refreshing to hear. When you said, I just remind me of my competition days. I had this Hall of Fame playing on repeat the whole day, and my roommates frustrated. So, yeah, that is very refreshing to hear. Moving on from that, before I let you go, next year we have the African Championship, the Commonwealth Games, African Championship in Ghana.
Mhm.
Is this something that you're planning to go? And when you go, are you planning to try Ghana Jollof? I know you're Nigerian. Are you planning to try Ghana Jollof? And which, if you've had Ghana Jollof before, which one do you think is better?
Yes, I absolutely plan on going to African Champs and Commonwealth Games, and I absolutely plan on eating Ghana Jollof. I'm not one of those Nigerians. Don't take away my Nigerian card. I'm not one of those Nigerians that sits
Hey,
here and
fellow
hates on
Nigerians, don't
Ghana
judge
Jollof.
her. Don't judge her.
Don't judge me, please. Listen, I love Ghanaian jollof. When I was back at my old school, my neighbors were Ghanaians, and I also grew up with some Ghanaians. Like one of my best friends in high school was Ghanaian, and I've had Ghana food. Like their food is good. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Their food is good. So yeah, I'm excited to try it in the authentic, where like at the source.
Mm, this you are the first honest Nigerian who have admitted that Ghana Jollof is good. So
I'm telling you,
kudos
everyone
to
that
you.
says it's terrible, they're lying to you. At least 90% of them are lying to you. They know it's not terrible.
Anyway, if Nigerians want to get rid of you because you admitted Ghana Jollof is good, Ghana is gonna take you with warm hands.
Thank you.
So
I
finally, before you go, what would be your advice to any upcoming athletes, whether it be in Maryland or in Nigeria or in Africa or anywhere who be saying this? What would be your final thought, your advice to that upcoming athlete? Because there are a lot of athletes in Nigeria who are also looking up to you, who want to be like you, who are looking up to you for inspiration. What would be your final thought to them?
I would say the best thing to do is to live in the present because um if you think too much about the future. Oh, I want to be this place. I want to be this place. I want to be this place. I want to be doing this. It's good to dream. We should all have dreams, but don't live in the future. You should be living in the present, because if you sit there daydreaming all day, then you're not going to do anything. You're not going to get anything done. So the best thing to do, instead of worrying about tomorrow and worrying about the future, is to give your all in the moment. So one of the best pieces of advice that I've been given is that when you're thinking about the future, when you're worrying about the future, just circle back to the present and give your all in the present. If it's that rep, if you're thinking, I want to win nationals, I want to make it to the Olympics, you, how do you do that? You do that by running this rep well. Focus
Mhm.
back to this rep. Focus back to this sleep that you're trying to get. Focus back to this meal that you're trying to eat that's healthy. So it's focusing back to what's in front of you and giving your best in that moment.
That is awesome. Adaobi, thank you so much for making yourself available, taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're preparing for Nigerian champs. You're preparing for a meet this weekend, so you making yourself available for this, I really appreciate you. And from everyone at the Shortcast, we want to wish you all the best for the rest of the season. We'll be supporting you, and we'll be sharing your awesome achievement to the rest of the world. So thank you once again.